Okay, in the last topic, topic 5, we're going to be dealing with taking these ways to solve systems of equations into word problems. So we've seen some of these steps before with different chapters. So the first thing we're going to want to do is define our variables. I want to make sure we know what we're dealing with. And then from that, we're going to try to write a system of equations to represent the situation. Determine the best method for solving. Okay, do the solving itself. And then make sure when you answer the question it's in context. We don't want to just say 2, 3, for example. We might want to talk about what it's actually asking, whether it's like amount of money or time or something like that. Okay, let's take a look at the first example. So it says the sum of two numbers is 42. Their difference is 30. Find the two numbers. So first thing I'm going to do is define my variables. I know that it's asking about two numbers. So I can say x equals the first number, and say y equals the second number. Alright, so define my variables. Now I'm going to set up a system. Sum two numbers 42. So I'm going to say x plus y is equal to 42. Their difference is 30. X minus y equals 30. Find the two numbers. All right, I'm looking at these two. All right, I'm looking at these two equations here that I just set up, and they appear to be in standard form. So what I'm going to do is use elimination to solve this. Okay. Cancel out my y's. You know this method by now. So it looks like x is 36. Now, if I go back to where I defined everything, that seems to be the answer for the first number. Okay, so to find the second number, I can plug it into one of my two equations. I'm just going to plug it in right there. So 36 plus y is 42. Subtract 36. Looks like my other number is 6. All right, so in context, my final answer will look something like this. My two numbers are 36 and 6. Just write a small little sentence. All right, so you're going to want to pause the video and go ahead and try the u-try. It's very similar to the one above, so you can use that as an example. This one can be a little more tricky, but I'm going to explain how to set up the money problems here. So we have a money jar containing nickels and quarters worth $1.55. The money jar contains 11 coins. How many of each coin? Okay, so it seems that we have a money type sentence, and the second sentence is more about quantity. You can kind of think of it this way, that each sentence in these word problems represents one equation. So for the first one, we could do it a couple different ways. We could write it as nickels, which are 5 cents or 0.05 of a dollar. So write nickel, and then quarter 0.25 of a dollar, okay? Or we could think of everything in terms of pennies, just multiply everything by 100. Let's stick with it this way. Now I'm going to call my nickels X, or you call it N or whatever. I'm going to call my quarters Y. So just want to keep in mind what everything means. So let's look at the first sentence. It's going to look something like this. 0.05x plus 0.25y equals 1.55. My second sentence is purely about quantity. So collectively, my x and y, my nickels and quarters, make up 11 coins. All right, so once again, I seem to be in standard form here. I'm just going to want to be careful with how you multiply things out. So I want to get one of the top variables to look like the bottom with its opposite. So what I think I'm going to do here, the easier of the two things, is to get rid of the y. If I multiply -4 on the top, I'm going to make this value of 0.25y into a -1y, which then I can cancel. Okay, let me rewrite it down here. So you just got to be really careful when you're multiplying decimals and stuff. You can use your calculator. That's going to make the first term -0.20x minus 1y, which is what we want, equals, all right, so let me do 1.55 times -4, -6.2. All right, my bottom equation stays the same. Sorry about that. Let me put that back. My bottom equation is actually the purple one. So that's just x plus y equals 11. Okay. Now I'm going to add and cancel and all that using elimination. Put that over here. So negative 0.20, so we're going to get 0.80x, the y's cancel, and I'm going to carefully add negative 6.2 and 11, 4.8. Okay, so hopefully when I divide 4.8 by 0.8, I'm going to get a nice answer, which I do, 6. Okay, so if you can make it that far through the problem, you should be able to get a nice answer. I can then just take the x, I'm going to put the 6, put it into my x plus y. So if I know I have 11 coins, 6 of them are nickels, that means 5 of them have to be quarters. So my final answer, as I run out of room here, should be that we get 6 nickels, so this is my answer in context, and 5 quarters. All right, why don't you guys try the same one on the bottom, and we'll go from there. Okay, the last example is more about geometry than anything else, so let's see if we can still figure this out. The perimeter of a rectangle is 48 centimeters. Okay, so adding up all sides, the length is 3 times the width. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. Okay, so first of all, let's define some variables. We'll call L for the length, W for the width. Okay, and we'll just kind of throw that on here. LW. So we know the perimeter is 48. I'm just going to write that in here. All right. Let's take a look. The perimeter of the rectangle is 48. So I'm going to say P. Actually, I'm not going to say P. I'm going to say 48 equals 2L plus 2W. And that's how we add up all 4 sides. All right. The length is 3 times the width. So L equals 3W. All right, so looking at this example, it might make more sense to do substitution because one of my 2 equations is already solved for a variable. So I'm just going to take 3W and replace it with the letter L in my first equation. 48 equals 2 times 3W plus 2W. Well, that makes 48 equals 8W total. By dividing 48 by 8, I'm going to get 6. All right, so that would mean 6 for the width, and then I can replace that 6 into my second equation and get L is 18. So that means this rectangle is, I'm going to say rectangle is a, let's see, length, we'll do length first, 18 centimeter by 6 centimeter rectangle. Okay, you can pause it and try the U-try. It's similar to the other one, and that'll be it.